you don't go back to face justice. Nothing's touched me like this. We have to help law enforcement take these cowards down. This is the most important job we've ever had. And you know what? We'll go wherever it takes to find these cowards. Why do you want them caught?
I'm just hoping he'll get caught so then he won't harm any other innocent people.
Now, these guys are going in after convicted rapists. Man, these guys risk their lives all the time.
America's Most Wanted. Help save Elizabeth.
Okay, let's go. Let me tell you something, bro. You're in big, big trouble. Great news out of our hotline. Tips you left right here made quick work of one cocky coward who cops in New Jersey really wanted bad. And no one wanted him more than John Hayes of the U.S. Marshals New York, New Jersey Task Force. I met up with him in Brooklyn a couple of weeks back as the task force gathered to hunt down their target, Prince Alvarado, a guy so conceited that he calls himself God. Now, you really want to put the cuffs on this creep.
Absolutely, John. We've been hunting this guy for 3 years now. He's wanted out of Middlesex County, New Jersey for 4 counts of attempted murder.
It's become kind of an obsession for you.
Absolutely, so much so that I actually took a picture of him and put it on my cell phone.
On the night we aired this story, Officer Hayes was right here in our hotline waiting for your tips. And it didn't take long before you made it a night that he and Prince Alvarado would never forget.
No, no one else would.
Back in 2006, Prince actually shot 3 women and 1 man. He is wanted for 4 counts of attempted murder. Right now, he's still considered armed and dangerous.
Okay, give me 1 second, and I'm going to turn you over to the agent.
We've been looking for this guy for 3 years, okay? We're at our wits' end. We really need to get this guy off the streets, and we really think the AMW can do it.
Are there any marks on his face?
How are you? My name is Detective John Hayes from the Jersey State Police.
How old does he look to you?
Okay, what can you tell me about him? We believe him to possibly be in Virginia, Georgia, Las Vegas, or New York. This guy already shot 4 people, and who knows how many other people he's willing to shoot. We didn't have any records, anything that would put Prince down in Florida during our investigation.
So there's a patch on his chin.
I'm calling regarding the tip that you gave to America's Most Wanted. Once we got several tips that he was in an apartment complex in Florida, we realized, hey, we might have something really, really good tonight. Do you know what apartment he lived in?
They're saying that he lives in building 100, second floor. Okay. And I got the Florida tag. Rich just ran it. They're going to fax it up.
And there it is. There's Prince, going under the name of Nelson Holiday in Sanford, Florida. That's him. Our tipsters told us that Prince went by the name of Nelson T. Holiday in Florida. Nelson T. Holiday is a person that actually lives in Brooklyn, New York, about a block away from where Prince used to live.
What I'm going to do is forward this information over to the investigators on the case.
We have a caller right now with eyes on him.
I told her that I was looking at him right now, and she was asking me, how sure am I? And I told her that I'm 100% sure that that's him.
So at that point, we went ahead and called the marshals in Florida, and they set up surveillance.
It looked like we identified him in Sanford, Florida.
Prince Alvarado is wanted out of New Jersey.
When you get a tip like that and you got somebody said they got eyes on, then you know definitely we got something good. We're going to be going hands-on.
Well, just trying to keep an eye on him and be discreet and not let him see me, and just relaying the information back and forth.
The tipster could not keep viewing Prince because he didn't want to tip Prince off that he was actually looking at him.
I lost sight of him, and I didn't see which way he went.
There was a definite fear of losing him because we did not have eyeballs on him at that point. We need to act on this really, really quick so we don't miss him. Because, I mean, if we miss him, guess what? That's one more day on the street that he can hurt somebody.
We have several sources confirming that it is him and that he is at the apartment right now.
The marshals in Florida hit the first address where he was seen.
Police, open the door!
They hit that apartment and come up with nothing. My stomach just turned. I was like, oh no, he's in the wind.
So we decided to move to the second location, which was actually the address on his Florida DL license under an alias.
We believe that's going to be the spot.
Yeah, that's what we're getting ready to hit now.
You guys turn around.
Well, we're thinking if he's in there, what's he doing? Is he arming himself? There's all kinds of things that run through your mind.
We're gonna take it down. He's in a side bedroom. He comes out with his hands up.
Prince, what's your name? Nelson?
Y'all like that for the cameras? I ain't got no name. Y'all got me up, man. Yo, Felicia, I love you, baby. I ain't got no name. My name ain't Prince, man. Don't call me Prince, bro.
So you're not gonna go by God anymore?
Who the is God? God is up in the sky, man. Come on, man.
Yo, don't jerk for me.
Man, you got me under cup.
Take it easy, brother.
Been on the run for a little over 3 years. We caught him in 4.5 hours once he was there.
And kudos to our office in Florida.
So you're not wanted in New Jersey?
I don't know what the state of New Jersey is.
AMW viewers tonight got it right, 100%.
Tell America's most wanted kiss my ass. I ain't wanted for nothing in America.
The tips do make a difference.
Yes, they do.
Because without AMW, we hit a wall.
Come on in America.
Just sitting here for right now. Yeah.
Can you get the cameras on my face, please?
Immediately after he was handcuffed and put in custody, I went on my cell phone and deleted his picture so I didn't have to see it again.
All right, God, see you later.
Have a good day, man.
Detective Hayes, I am so glad we could help you delete that punk smug face off your cell phone. And Alvarado, you know, you might be funny if you weren't so pitiful. It was a real pleasure putting you in jail. And now I'm going to delete you from our file. Good riddance.
Up next, a con man so cold, he even took all of this man's cash.
It's hard to say money is not everything, but money for me in my state right now, it was so important.
He's looking for his next victim, but we're looking to take him down. And later,
you put the worm on like this.
This is no fish tale. It's a small-town tragedy about a couple of big ones who got away. And we'll show you how to reel them in.
Tonight, cops in South Florida are still piecing together a tragic Thanksgiving Day shooting. 4 family members gunned down. Cops say Paul Michael Marriage, a relative, is responsible for the shooting, which prompted this frantic call to police.
911 emergency care for where's emergency? I have to come. There's someone with a gun. Who is he? Sir, is somebody shot?
One of the victims was 6-year-old Michaela Sitton.
I've never seen a baby executed in her bed. That doesn't happen. Maybe accident, crossfire, a kid gets shot once or something, but 5 times, execution style.
Cops are learning that Paul Marriage put a lot of thought into this attack. Cops say here he is in a gun shop the day before the shooting. They say he gets ammo at another store. And cops say here he is getting his car serviced, possibly preparing for life on the run. Cops say this surveillance video shows Marriage packing his car the night before the shootings. The car is a 2007 Toyota Camry with Florida plates W42 7JT. Police have no leads on Paul Marriage's whereabouts, so if you've seen him, call our hotline now at 1-800-CRIME-TV.
Now this little gadget right here is a forensic tool called an ultralight. Picks up hidden clues and CSI evidence, like if there's anything on this sweatshirt right here. In our next case, hidden clues were buried deep in evidence like these financial statements right here, and you didn't need an ultralight to find them. John Lieberman puts us on the trail of the con man who cooked up these phony figures. leaving his vulnerable, unsuspecting victims out in the cold.
Rich Comorgan's kids grew up with a fun-loving father who wasn't shy about showing affection. Happy birthday! And enjoyed being out on the water. Rich was an engineer who'd relocated his family from the beaches of Long Island to the foothills of South Carolina.
Hi, Rich. We had a great life. We had a nice home. And then I had my accident.
I know it's difficult, but take me to the day of your accident.
Sorry.
Rich remembers an idyllic day watching his son in the pool.
I swam over to the lifeguard stand, and I dove in after him to play with him, not realizing how shallow it was. And I hit my head on the bottom, and then that's when I just broke my neck, and then life changed.
Rich would find himself dependent on his aging father and 2 kids.
My dad and my family, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. I just want to get better so I can help them and be a good dad again. Button click, mouse grid.
Rich learned how to use a voice-activated computer to keep up with his kids.
Page up, mouse grid.
Although he outfitted his home with special ramps and never lost his love for the water, he vowed to find an experimental therapy to regain use of his arms. He knew it would be expensive.
I had a small amount of money to work with from the little bit of return from the accident. And the market was doing okay. And, you know, I didn't really have anybody take care of my money.
That's how he met Spiro Jimenez, who ran an investment company on Long Island.
And he called me Richie Rich. Every morning we'd talk, hey, Richie Rich, how are you? Never pushy. And after a year, I said, okay, I can trust this guy.
Jimenez came from a working-class Greek-American family in Queens and seemed to be a self-made man.
So I just knew that he had a couple of cute kids and he had a beautiful house and this and that. I thought this was a very down-to-earth guy. I decided that on my own that I would invest more, most of my retirement and most of my savings, assuming everything was legit.
But the assumption was shattered on October 13th, 2006. That's the day Jimenez told his wife he was taking a client to a New York Mets playoff game. He hasn't been seen since.
He bought a one-way ticket with cash to Athens, Greece. He boarded that flight and flew overseas, but the investigation cannot determine where he in fact wound up. He never entered Greece in his true name.
The FBI calls Jimenez a classic con man who shrewdly sizes up his victims before ripping them off.
Spiro Jimenez is a financial predator in the true sense of the word. He would go after some of the most vulnerable people to get their money. Then they would receive statements showing their balance growing at a very favorable rate compared to average investments that people can make.
And the statements were bogus.
He made them up himself.
Rich Comorgan is far from alone.
We've identified approximately 27 investors who collectively lost about $9 million. The majority of those folks were people over the age of 65.
Rich lost $280,000 and the chance to find a cure for his paralysis.
So I was betrayed. I was hurt. I was shot in the heart. It's hard to say money is not everything, but money for me in my state right now, it was so important.
Does it make you less trusting?
I wish I said yes, but unbelievable, I'm still so gullible. I want to still trust everybody.
But cops say Jimenez violated that trust, and that's why it's up to us to get Rich some justice. Jimenez is a gambler whose game of choice is poker. Cops suspect he's back in the United States, and probably swindling victims under a different alias. If you know where Spiro Jimenez is tonight, please call our hotline at 1-800-CRIME-TV.
Now, what kind of a creep can get up close to a good man like Rich, look him right in the eye, and steal everything he has? Nobody with a heart. And what Rich finds so hard to believe is that Jimenez even left his own family behind. Now, cops say Jimenez can go from slick to scruffy looking in a heartbeat. His weight fluctuates, but he likes to brag and show off pictures of his early days as a bodybuilder. Remember, cops believe Jimenez is back here in the United States, so don't let him con you. Call 1-800-CRIME-TV. This guy's out there looking for more victims. He really has to be stopped.
Coming up, 3 missing children.
I can't live without him. I need my son back.
Help end their family's misery and bring them home.
Aji Desir, Tangina Hussein, Lindsey Baum. 3 kids from 3 different parts of the country who have one horrible thing in common. They're all missing. So please, look at their pictures, listen to their stories. Then let's get them home to their families and loved ones. 6-year-old Aji Desir's family is devastated. They've been praying day and night for the little boy's safe return ever since he disappeared last January 10th from Immokalee, Florida, just outside Fort Myers.
Aji was last seen playing just 100 feet outside of his home with another boy tossing a football. Just about dusk, the other boy's brother came to him and said it was time to come home, and he left Aji standing just outside of the house.
Aji's mother, Marie, feels helpless as she waits for answers about her son.
I can't live without him. I need my son back. Jesus, give me my son back.
This is Aji. We're looking for him. Please keep your eyes open.
We just want to get him home safe to Marie. She really needs her baby boy right now. She's just beside herself.
Police and volunteers combed every inch of this small agricultural community, but came up empty. They fear the worst.
We don't know if he walked off, but we searched the wooded area. So we're concentrating now on looking at him being taken from this neighborhood by someone.
Aji is 7 and is developmentally challenged. He only understands his native language, Creole, but he doesn't speak it. He goes by the nickname Gigi and was last seen wearing these distinctive sneakers. If you know anything that can get his family some answers, please call our hotline tonight. It was October 2nd, 2008, when Jamrul Hussein stopped at a Marathon gas station off Detroit's infamous 8 Mile Road to pick up a bottle of juice for his girlfriend's daughter, 2-year-old Tangina Hussein. When he went inside, he left Tangina alone in the back of the car. This surveillance video shows Hussein walking out of the store after his purchase. He told cops that when he returned to his car, Tangina was gone. But then something very strange happened. Instead of running back inside to call 911, he drove to a nearby mall to pick up Tangina's mom from her job. He brought her back to the gas station. Only then, with the help of the gas station attendant, did he finally call 911.
She's in the car, and I went to the gas station. No, I can't find her. Maybe somebody stolen her.
Your girlfriend?
No, my daughter.
How old is she?
2 years old.
She was in the car?
Yeah, she was in the car. I can't find her.
So you went to go pick up your girlfriend after you seen that she wasn't in the car?
Yeah.
Why? You need to look for her.
Investigators have been doing that for months, but there's been no sign of Tangina. They've searched Jamrul Hussein's car and the family's home without turning up clues to help find the missing toddler. Tangina's mom desperately needs your help tonight.
Please go out there and look for my daughter. Just look everywhere, like, backyard and the garbage can, everywhere. My daughter's still been missing. We miss her a lot.
If you know anything about the disappearance of Tangina Hussein, you gotta call our hotline right now. Tonight in Washington State, the search continues for 11-year-old Lindsey Baum, who disappeared in the tiny logging community of McClary.
Pretty concerned. It's a small town, and things like this don't normally happen.
Lindsey was last seen walking home from a friend's house just after 9 p.m. on Friday, June 26.
We're with Search and Rescue, and we would like permission to search your backyard.
Search teams found no sign of Lindsey, and tonight police and her family are at a loss for answers.
This may be a worst-case scenario criminal investigation involving a predator or predatory behavior.
I'm praying that's not true and that you can help bring her home. So if you know anything about the disappearance of Lindsey Baum, call us at 1-800-CRIME-TV. Tonight, Lindsey's family is counting on you, and so are the families of little Aji and Tangina. Your tips have helped bring 61 missing children and adults home. So please go to amw.com. Look at the clues for these missing kids. And maybe your tip can add to that number and get these kids home as soon as we can.
Next.
Well, I guess it was about a year ago. Something terrible happened in this small town.
A Mississippi cop spins a tale of tragedy, terror, and tears that will tug at your heart.
Oh my God.
And he'll tell you how you can help hunt down the creepy couple cops say are to blame.
You know, the South has a long, rich tradition of great storytellers. You don't have to go too far to find someone who can really spin a good yarn. Like Jimmy Edwards. He's the deputy chief of police in New Albany, Mississippi. And like any good storyteller, he's got some things in his tale that may sound a little hard to believe. But I can tell you, every word of it is true.
New Albany's a small town. I grew up here. I've lived here all my life. And Southern people love to tell stories, swing on their porch, and drink sweet tea. And in the summertime, the best place to get out of the Mississippi heat is sitting in the shade with a fishing pole with one of your best buddies. And put the worm on like this.
It's my worm. Okay.
Like that right there. And leave it dangling so that catfish can see it down there and that catfish will bite it, okay? We got to throw it out like this right here so you don't get no slack on the line. Let's see if we catch a fish. Well, I guess it was about a year ago when something terrible happened in this small town that really got people talking.
Can somebody help me? Can you help? She's not breathing. She fell out of her shopping cart. Can you believe that?
What's her name?
Her name's Anna.
How old is she?
She's 2.
Are you the parent?
Yes, I'm Janet Barretto, and this is my husband, Raymond.
Follow me right down through here. We have a 2-year-old. Her name is Anna. She fell out of a shopping cart approximately an hour and a half ago. She's unresponsive.
Gosh, she's obviously got some bad head trauma. Let's get lab. Let's get a blood pressure cuff on her.
They tried everything they could to save little Anna, but it didn't make any difference. Poor little Anna died the next day. But you know, those doctors and nurses, they knew something was a little fishy. They called the sheriff's office and the Department of Human Services and told us what they suspected.
From the story we've been told, this just doesn't make any sense. These injuries are more consistent with a car wreck than somebody falling out of a shopping cart.
So, Doc, you tell me somebody's killed this child?
That appears to be the case.
Well, Janet Barreto and her husband, Ramon, were arrested later that day for felony child endangerment. They both lived here in town, but they kept to themselves behind locked gates. Well, they sent me and a team out to do a search warrant on their home. Lord have mercy. We didn't expect to find what we did. Well, there was hundreds of dogs in cages, filthy cages, stacked one on top of the other. And I'm a dog lover, and that alone about broke my heart. You guys go check around back. We're gonna go in the front. My God. Look. As we entered into the compound, into the trailer, it was the filthiest place I'd ever seen. The stench and smell was so bad it almost took your breath. How are they living like this? The farther into the trailer we went, the worse it got. The Barretos said they lived here with their kids, Morena, 17, and baby Janet, 6. Who could possibly raise children in a house like this? Ouch! I thought I'd saw it all. I didn't think things could get any worse, but boy, was I dead wrong. What we got back here?
Got a door locked.
Oh my God. The room was filled with cribs, almost like cages. The baby trailer was about 10 feet from the puppy mill. What the heck was going on here? Well, we knew they had 2 kids of their own, baby Janet and Morena. They never said anything about having 7 more. And if the cribs are empty, then where are all the kids? Only by the grace of God did we find them before it was too late. The Barretos had them stashed at a relative's house. When I first saw them, my heart broke to pieces. They were the saddest looking little children I'd ever seen. They couldn't even talk, none of them. I remember how they clung to our legs. You're a sweet boy. And one little boy kept pointing at me until I picked him up. All they wanted was some affection. We discovered they were adopted from Guatemala. There was Byron, who was 8, Edwin, Juan, and Celeste, who were 3, and Lucia, and Lucretia, who were 2. These poor little kids looked starved to death, so we took them to get them some food right away. Chew it up. You can swallow it. You don't have to save it. There's plenty more where that come from, okay? Okay? Good boy, we got one. We got one. We'll fry that one up later. Now, we had the Barretos in jail. The children were in foster care. Thought we had everything wrapped up tight until the Barretos' 17-year-old daughter dropped a bombshell on us.
It was a bombshell that ripped the doors off the Barretos' house of horrors, and it would give Jimmy a whole new view of his case. Arcade Como escaped from a Texas prison where he was serving life for aggravated sexual assault. Paul, if you've seen him. Now, before the break, Deputy Chief Jimmy Edwards was telling us a really tough story that went down in his hometown of New Albany, Mississippi. Little Ina Barreto dies in the hospital from severe injuries. Doctors alert police that she may have been beaten to death. Ina's parents, Janet and Ramon Barreto, are arrested, and Deputy Chief Edwards leads a search of their residence. He finds a disgusting puppy mill, a rancid, roach-infested home, and 7 empty cribs set up like cages. Cops recover the 7 small children who the Barretos kept tied to those cribs. They've all been adopted from Guatemala, and they were really all in very bad shape. The kids were put into foster care. The Barretos were locked in jail. But that's not the end of Jimmy's story. The Barretos' oldest daughter was about to tell him a shocking story of her own, and it would give Jimmy a dramatic new angle on his case.
This young kid had told us that she had accidentally killed Anna when she was taken care of. She had shaken her and thrown her into her crib. Hey, Miranda, I just want to talk to you a minute. Come on out for me. I wanted to find out what in the world had made this kid snap, so I went back in the jail to talk to Miranda. We have reason to believe that Janet may have made you drop out of school to take care of the kids. Is that true?
My mom wanted me to stay home and watch the kids. I'd wake up, I'd go back to the back trailer where the adopted ones were, and I'd change them and I'd feed them. My mom wouldn't let me give them their, blanket and toys.
What are you doing? Don't give them things. Get out of here. Get out of here.
I felt sad and angry at her for not treating them the way they were supposed to be treated.
I think you had told, or maybe had mentioned to some of the investigators that some of the kids had been tortured. Describe what you mean by being tortured.
I'm going to teach you. You're not going to climb out of here anymore.
They would duct tape their hands, their feet to the bed, or they would dunk them in water.
Shut your mouth.
My mom and Ramon would tell them to scream help, just for the fun for them of hearing it.
Well, Morena went on to tell me how Ramon would stuff hot peppers into those poor children's mouth to make them stop crying.
I thought it was wrong. Why did she get them when she wasn't gonna love them, take care of them? I was just sad and depressed, and it's building up, and it's too much. And finally got to the breaking point. I couldn't handle it anymore.
Morena had stated to us that Anna was fussy.
Oh, the baby's gonna go. Just Morena, get in here.
Morena, take off these.
What, Mama? What? Go.
What?
I've had enough with this, Mama.
Her mother had expressed to her to take care of that baby.
Who do you think you are? Girl, you can't handle it.
Babies! Ah!
And she went into the home.
Please be quiet, Anna. Anna, be quiet. Be quiet.
Threw her into one of those beds.
Stop it!
Didn't realize that she had hurt her as bad as she had.
I was giving her CPR and trying to help her the best I could. I didn't even know how to do it.
I didn't mean to hurt her. Anna's not breathing.
What do you mean
Girl,
she's not
what
breathing?
did you do?
I kept telling her we need to take her to the emergency room and get her help.
I threw her down the bed and now she's not breathing. Well, we have to get her to the hospital.
Look, we're not going down for what you did. Take her and put her in the septic tank.
What are we going to tell her
if we take her?
My mom wanted put her in the septic tank.
You gotta think of something, baby.
What are we gonna tell her? Hurry up!
She fell out of the cart.
Okay, shopping cart. We'll tell them she fell out of the shopping cart. Do you understand?
The Berettas decided to make up a story and finally take little baby Anna to the hospital.
She's not responsive.
And we know how that ended. Morena continued to describe to me her years of physical and mental abuse. She had been beaten and whipped and had received that type of punishment all of her life. That's the type that she give out because that's the type she had received. I know you're sorry about what you done to Anna, but you really did care for her, didn't you?
I felt like she was mine. Like I was the mother of her, not my mom. You know, was sweet and she was loving and she was scared. They were all scared all the time. Sometimes I feel that if I would have told, if I wasn't as scared, I should have said something. But I was scared of my mom, what she would do when she found out. And I'm not the bad person that everybody thinks I am.
It was a sad day when I visited that girl. You could say she was a victim in this case herself. Lord, no child should have to endure what she did.
Couldn't cover up for my mom anymore.
After Morena's confession, her parents bonded out and left her there to rot in jail.
My mom.
When she started singing like a bird to the police about all the abuse, Janet and Ramon Beretta were charged with manslaughter and felony child abuse. Lord Almighty, they weren't happy.
Morena, I understand you have been talking to the police. You know what's gonna happen, right? Are you gonna try to get me and your father in trouble? Look, you need to go take back everything you said about me and your stepfather. Because if you don't, you know what's gonna happen to you, right? Do you understand? You better get it.
And then Morena told us about the phone call, so we added witness intimidation to Janet's list of charges.
Hurry, baby, we gotta go. Stupid girl.
I told you.
Stupid girl.
But the Berettas weren't about to wait around. When they found out we were looking for them again, they took off like a bat out of you-know-where. Whoops, that one got away. That's okay, we'll catch him again another day. Now, the Lord works in mysterious ways. All the Beretta children were placed in foster homes, not knowing if they'd ever be adopted. While I was racking my brain hunting fugitives, my heart never left those children, especially that one little boy. So my wife, Larissa, and I decided to start visiting Edwin in foster care. And I remember the first time we saw him. He ran up to us and hugged us. My heart melted. Larissa and I decided then to start taking him on weekends. Well, you know, I'm no spring chicken. My wife and I already had our kids grown, and we knew we were gonna have to do something. We wasn't doing Edwin right, so we prayed about it for our sake and his. All right, we got all we need. Let's go. We got a fish fry to go to. Well, all the children were adopted by some fine folks from here in Mississippi. Today is Enna's Day, so these families decided to get together and have a fish fry to celebrate her short life. Who would have ever thought that little 2-year-old Anna's tragic death could have started all this. Anna became the guardian angel to all the rest of these little children, and it's because of her that they have wonderful families who will love them for the rest of their lives. Well, my story ends and begins here. This is my son, Edwin, a little boy who clung to my leg and now has stolen my heart.
Now I have the real honor of welcoming Jimmy Edwards and his beautiful wife, Larissa, to our hotline. Thanks for being here tonight. Thank you for all that you're doing in this case. How's Edwin? Give me the update on that little guy.
Edwin's doing fine. He's putting on weight and growing and playing and talking and becoming a normal little child.
Larissa, what did you think when Jimmy called you up and said, I want you to meet this little boy?
I was a little bit hesitant at first. I came over there. He called me to the sheriff's department when I came to see the little guy. And when I reached for him and picked him up and he laid his head on my shoulder, it was like he chose us. We didn't choose him.
This was meant to be, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
He's in the right spot.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy, give me an update on this awful couple.
Well, we believe they fled to Mexico. Their vehicle was checked in Texas, and the U.S. Marshal Service has checked out the leads out there, and we believe that they've hired a coyote to get them back across the border into Mexico. We know that Ramon's has family in the state of Hidalgo, Mexico, and that we believe that maybe they're there or are in some part of Mexico. We know that Janet is very large and very overweight, has a lot of health problems. She has a scar on her stomach from a C-section that's been, I think, having some problems healing due to being a diabetic. She has some high blood pressure, so she should be seeing a doctor or getting some medical attention and some insulin and needles to take it with somewhere.
She should be easy to spot, and I think some of our viewers down in Mexico, when they see her, are going to do the right thing. When they see what this couple has done to those children, that they're going to have the courage to make that call, and I think they're going to get nailed tonight. But you keep up your good work, and good luck with Edwin.
Thank you.
Tonight, the manhunt's on for Spiro Germanis, wanted for ripping off millions of dollars from victims in a fraud scheme. Paul Michael Marriage, accused of murdering 4 family members in Florida on Thanksgiving. And Janet and Ramon Barreto, who are charged in the death of their adopted 2-year-old daughter.
Now, before we go tonight, I just want to extend my deep condolences to the families of the 4 Lakewood, Washington police officers who were gunned down earlier this week. Sergeant Mark Reniger, officers Ronald Owen, Tina Griswold, and Greg Richards had a combined 47 years of service. They were all parents, and between them, they leave behind 8 children. Our prayers are with their families. They died in the line of duty, and they're real heroes. Now, until I see you right here next week, please stay safe, stay strong, and remember, you can make a difference.